What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Lesser Athletes. My name is Chadwell, and today, like always, another interesting video for you here on the channel. Today is my Survivor Series predictions. I'm filming this literally 14 minutes after Raw right now, so this is fresh off the mind. What I'm thinking is going to happen at Survivor Series. We're going to go from most confident to least confident in the three non-war game matches. We're going to go the men's war game and then the women's war game, because there's a kind of a spoiler that we'll talk about in a little bit. So let's just get started. I think there's a lot to talk about of possibilities, but I feel pretty good. And talking about pretty good, I feel pretty good with my prediction here. LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura was announced at Raw, which is kind of crazy. You would think that maybe they would announce it at SmackDown. Maybe said, Shinsuke, you've been trying to fight from the back so much that we're going to finally have a match. You get what you want. LA Knight, you get to take down the monster. I don't know what it could have been, but I feel confident in this one. There was not really that big of build-up. There wasn't that big of even storyline. It was really Shinsuke coming out of nowhere and saying, I want that title and I want you. There wasn't anything else other than that. And with that being said, I feel like I have to go LA Knight. I think LA Knight's way too hot for Shinsuke Nakamura to win. There's no one that could screw over LA Knight. It is really Shinsuke Nakamura probably going to lose, and they just want to show LA Knight on this card potentially. I don't know. I don't feel like there's even a chance that this is a LA Knight loss. I literally feel so confident. I'm going to say 99.9% LA Knight wins. Up next, we have Gunther versus Damian Priest, which this has been a weird match. This has definitely been a weird kind of outing, I will have to say, because they have made Gunther look a little weak. I'm going to be honest. These past couple Raw promos has really made Gunther look like not a strong heel like they have before. He looks beatable. He looks like since his Cody loss, it's affected him horribly. Damian Priest looks like the favorite to win. And I don't think he is. I think Gunther still wins, and there's a couple reasons why. One, they might just be building Damian Priest to look intense and crazy right now for Damian Priest to look like $1 million, look like a true heavyweight contender, and then Finn Balor to screw over Damian Priest like we've seen before. But Finn hasn't really talked about potentially going against Damian Priest, so maybe this isn't the truth about it. Maybe it's not what's going to happen. I don't know. But also, Gunther kind of getting bullied around, has to prove himself and has to really grow and be this destructive guy. I think Damian Priest is going to be the loser out of this. I just don't see a way that Gunther wins this. The only way I could is that if they have something planned for Gunther in the future, and that truthfully, maybe they're like, you know what? Like if this was CM Punk, I would have chose CM Punk to beat Gunther. Truthfully, just being so truthful. I just think that they won't give it to Damian Priest unless they think they should have Damian versus Finn for the title. But I don't even think that's the case. I think we're going to see Gunther versus Damian Priest, and Gunther wins. So I'm going to go Gunther for this one. Up next, we have Braun Breaker versus Ludwig Kaiser versus Sheamus, which I am so happy about. I said there was a possibility that Braun Breaker would have a title match. I was hoping it was going to be against Sheamus. This is a match that I am excited to watch. Once I saw the DQ with Ludwig Kaiser and I saw there was going to be a match with Ludwig and Braun Breaker, I knew the triple threat was coming. I think a lot of us knew the triple threat was coming. This is going to be an interesting match. This match is, and I'm not confident on my prediction here, but I think there's a reason why there's a triple threat here. And no, it's not for a no DQ type of match. It's because I think Sheamus is going to come out with the win. Now, let me explain myself, because Braun Breaker is some crazy, destructive, invincible force. The reason why this is triple threat is because I think they want Sheamus to get this title. I think they want Sheamus to become a Grand Slam champ. I think they want Sheamus to finally get the moment of getting that IC title. But they don't want him to beat the young dog. They don't want him to beat Braun Breaker. They want Sheamus to pin Ludwig Kaiser and get this title. I think that's the only reason why it's a triple threat. Now, how confident do I feel in this? Not as confident when IC title just came back to Braun Breaker, but I do think that Braun Breaker could go into the main event scene here soon. I think Braun Breaker makes a lot of sense to be elevated to that scene. It's really just when will it happen? And I'm thinking that it probably happens before Netflix change. And I think Sheamus is the one holding the title entering Netflix. And maybe we see somebody take the title off him that's a little bit younger. Maybe something like that. Maybe it is a Bronson Reed. I could see Bronson Reed becoming one of the bigger faces with the IC title if he just would be a Sheamus. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. But I think this is the time. If you really want to give it to Sheamus, this is the time. But again, Braun Breaker's crazy. Maybe they're showing off Braun Breaker, whatever it might be. But this is the moment I think you give Sheamus that, you give him that Grand Slam champ. Up next, we have our War Games. This is when things start getting a little juicy. So let's yap a little bit about this. OG Bloodline versus New Bloodline. There's so many factors that can go into this. I think this OG Bloodline is probably going to win. I think it makes a lot of sense, but there's a reason why I'm not clicking yet. There's no reason why I'm not. I think the OG Bloodline will probably win, but should they? I don't think so. Here's the thing. Roman, Jimmy, Jay, Sammy, and CM Punk just got together. They just became a family. And let's not act like they're one happy family. Jimmy's a little still pressed at Sammy. Maybe not as much as they show. Jay's still pressed at, Roman. Sammy's pressed at Roman. CM Punk's only here for Paul Heyman. And if they are a family that's not certified and strong, I don't believe that they are going to be a family that wins this match. I think we are going to see a New Bloodline win. I think that's what makes the most sense when you're thinking story-wise. I think the New Bloodline winning allows this New Bloodline to look crazy, allows them to show they are a true threat, allows Roman to realize, look, you can't just assemble a family. You have to be connected. And they're not. Like, they're still doing the bidding for Roman Reigns. I think also, I've said this before, but I think we're going to probably see, CM Punk probably trying to hit a move and accidentally hit somebody else. Or Jey Uso tries to get a super kick and hits Roman Reigns. Or Roman Reigns hits a spear and it's on Sammy. Something like that. I think there's going to be something where it's like we're not really a strong family. Something's going to happen. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that's what's most likely to happen. I can see a way where maybe it doesn't necessarily. But they should not be coordinated like a true family that's been together for a long, long time. The only thing I have that's probably... Let me actually say this factor too. What's up with Paul Heyman? Paul Heyman's been acting a little weird. There's going to be a video on the channel coming out that I already recorded about Paul Heyman's probably up to something no good. And there could be some shenanigans that happen with that. There could be something where Paul Heyman sides with them and somebody's a secret agent like Jimmy Uso, who's been kind of goofy and weird right now. There could be something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's Sami Zayn even. I predicted that maybe Sami Zayn is the one that's actually the one that's being weird. So then Sami Zayn is going to be potentially the one to kind of not backstab them, but he talked to Solo. They never really kind of touched on that. Paul Heyman comes out of nowhere. Kind of weird. I don't know. I also think that it's kind of hard to see this New Bloodline win because, one, if they win, can you really say Roman's valid to try and become Tribal Chief? Two, if the New Bloodline wins, does Rock come out? I don't know. There's so many question marks with this match, but I have to say the New Bloodline wins, and that's my prediction. I know it's the OG Bloodline, and they're probably going to win, but that's my prediction I think makes the most sense. Up next, we have the Women's War Games match. I is going to have a potential spoiler in here if you did not click out of the video already, which I'm guessing if you already clicked Survivor Series predictions, then hopefully you already know. I should have probably said spoiler, which is kind of awkward on my part now. But if you already clicked the video, hopefully you didn't care too much about it, and they kind of already hinted towards it. SmackDown's episode was taped. I think I didn't really look at too much. The only thing I looked at was who was the fifth member, so I could record a video like this. And I see now that really I didn't need to. I could have got it off Raw because it's obviously hinted Bayley will become the fifth member. Now, With Jade out of the mix, and you have the baby faces and the crazy squad where you have Bayley filling in for Jade. What do I think is going to happen? Here's the thing. You can have all the god baby faces in the world of Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill at a point, now Bayley, Naomi, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley. That's a good team. That's a godly team. But are you really about to tell me that technically, now even thinking about this, all of the women's championships, except for tag teams, all the singles women's championships, and yes, I'm looking at you, Speed Champion, Candice LeRae, is on one team? Are you really going to tell me they lose? Because they're the champions. You can't let the champions lose. You know how bad that would look for the title and ruin the prestige of these titles? You cannot let that happen at all. And I think a lot of people would agree with me. I mean, when you look at these titles, I get that they are the baby faces and this is a god squad together. But the heels have to win. And I think there's a couple of things that could happen that could make them win. One, could we see a way that Bayley or somebody turns on the faces? I think Jade Cargill's probably demise that we saw, which I'm going to have in a video on who actually does it or did it, was either Bayley or Naomi or somebody else that I'll talk about in that video. But I think the favorites are Bayley or Naomi. And if that is the case, could we see one of them turn to team with the heels? Could we see one of them just turn on somebody else and not fully team with the heels, or at least just screw themselves over for the heels? Could we see something that grows, like a Rhea and Bianca disagreement, a Io or Rhea disagreement, Bayley or Bianca? We know that they're going to have that disagreement there. I think these heels just want to win, plain and simple. I don't know what's going to happen, but you cannot have the champions lose, and that's why I'm going to pick them for this video. I'm not that confident on it, but you can't have the champions lose. You can't. There's no matter what I say in this video, and no matter what I say about the babyfaces, the one thing that trumps it all is that they are the champions, and they cannot lose. And I'm not really talking about the speed title. I know I kind of made that joke. It's really Liv Morgan and Nia Jax. You can't do it, which is crazy because the advantage match, Nia Jax gotten pinned twice now as champion, one by Naomi and one by, Bianca. So she shouldn't be champion anymore, in my opinion. Like, you got pinned twice and you're still champion. Like, that's kind of crazy. But even with the advantage, it's going to be them. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.